Hello, everybody. I am Monster, and today I am interviewing Valtsu, the creator of VOIMA. It's a really cool sandbox game. I've never done an interview, but there's a first for everything. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I got a bunch of questions for you.
hmm
I think that people would want to know, that I want to know. We're going to talk about VOIMA, the future of VOIMA, a little bit of its history. We're going to talk about you a little bit. Sound good?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you want to give us a rundown of what VOIMA is?
Okay. I've forever been chasing that high of finding Minecraft for the first time. I found it when I was 11 years old in 2011, and that was like peak Minecraft, golden age of Minecraft with the notch code, the retroness, and with Voima, I feel like we finally have a chance of revisiting that feeling. And so in Voima, it's all about giving people the power to create exactly what they want. So Minecraft was a great innovation in giving people the first tools to create their own worlds. Because if you think about that, before that, level design was kind of closed off. Like you had to be a game studio making the game to make the levels, but now everyone had the chance to make the worlds. And so with Voima, I want to make the next step of letting everyone do game design. So Voima has these powerful tools to add your own characters, tools, environments, graphics, sounds. You can make your entire game inside the game. So it's kind of like a gamified game maker. But in addition to that, there's these powerful building tools. Because I'm I'm really disappointed how the sandbox genre hasn't had any innovation since Minecraft. Because if you think about all these sandbox games, it's either a exact same voxel block-based game, or it's something like Rust, where it's like these props that you build with. But with Voima, we finally had this new medium for building, a new look, a new precision, and it's very important that I make these tools as easy to use as possible, as accessible as possible. So this game is designed for all ages, but I specifically keep in mind my child self. Because as a child, when playing Minecraft, I started having these ideas for like tools I wanted to add in the game. For example, I wanted to add a coal pickaxe that would automatically smelt the stuff that you mined. But then I looked into how we would code it, and coding is insanely complex. All the softwares, I still don't know how to mod Minecraft. I'm gonna be honest. And so as a kid, those ideas just never got realized. And so with Voima, I want to give those tools that even a child could use and execute these bright ideas with. And so that's Voima. And so Voima, you can make multiple games. I call these games kind of like universes. So we're starting with the Karhula universe, which is like this Finnish forest. It's got these bears that you play with. It's got monsters. And this is the universe that I'm going to use to demonstrate all of Voima's strong capabilities and add a real survival gameplay loop to. Voima is a Finnish word. It means power, because this is about giving power to the people.
Yeah, nice. That was a great answer. All right, great introduction. So the bears. Everybody loves the bears,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where'd they come from?
Right, yeah. Honestly, I'm still surprised that the Bears are as big as they are. Like, I feel like the Bears have carried the game to the current audience it has, like the popularity. As I said, the current universe, it's a Finnish forest. And so with any Finnish forest, like you think, what kind of animal should there be? And a bear is a very obvious one. It's also our national animal here in Finland. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's also the national animal in Russia. And that's why Voim is also really popular over there.
Huh.
So I told my friend, we need these Finnish animals. And he went to an animal museum and took my camera and took photos of these, fake animals and used that as a texture and the reference. And so he added a bear. But at first, the bear is stood on all fours like a normal bear. But with the way that Voima has all the characters as like sprites, it looked really strange. Like the perspectives, it just doesn't work. Like if you look at the bear from the front, it looks super goofy. And so we started thinking about it, and we decided to make it stand like a human, and we gave it a praying pose with the hands. And I never intended that to be the player, really. It's just that, Jormas is busy with stuff, so we didn't have any other characters. So I just used the bear as a placeholder. Then earlier this year, before the game blew up, I was showing Voima to my brother. My brother was playing Voima, and he kept talking about like player customization because he's into Minecraft now. He plays it on the iPad, and the iPad version has the skin marketplace, skin customization. He's like really obsessed with that.
Uh,
And so I was kind of looking at Voima through his lens, his perspective, and it's like, yeah, maybe it would be better if the character was a human, because my brother didn't really want to be a bear. So I had that on my mind. Then I made a video about Voima, and that blew up. It blew up like 500,000 views in like 2 weeks, pretty much. And that's when the game really blew up. And everyone was talking about the bears. Like the number one thing, the bears look so goofy. I want to be a bear, all that. And I was shocked. And so since then, I'd be like committed, okay, we're going to be the bear in this game. So that's when I stood on that. And now my brother has changed his mind. He does love the bear, which is pretty funny. So it's all pretty like coincidence.
It is great to have a mascot. I think it's
Yeah.
very powerful image. Everybody loves the bears.
Yeah.
My girlfriend said that they scared her a little bit, but then she started liking them. So it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They are a bit like ominous. Yeah.
The guy who designed the bear, who took the pictures and designed it for you, is he still working on the team?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've made like all the textures and the trees. I added those to the game by just taking photographs and removing the background. But personally, I don't have any like 3D modeling skills. So that's where he comes in. He's a very talented 3D modeler. And so he made the bear model, he made the Haze, he made the John, he made the wooden shotgun, wooden pickaxe. So he's doing all that stuff and he's still working on that. And the next thing that he's going to be adding is like a skeleton bear.
My goodness.
And we're going to start adding hats and like player customization to the game. But there won't be microtransactions. There won't be any like classism. It's gonna be all like free. Everyone can choose whatever hat they want. You know, very accessible. That's important.
Okay. So people can make their own hats and then share designs and things like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I also want to ask, in the same vein as the bears, the Johns and the Haze, the other two prominent mobs in the game. So what's up with them?
Man, a lot of Voima stuff is just things that just happened along the way that I just thought like, hey, this would be cool. So for example, John is this like kind of like creepy Pac-Man looking character with teeth. The way that that was created was I was at the dentist. They were checking up on my teeth. They took an x-ray and they showed the x-ray on screen. I was like, yo, that looks really cool. I bet I could use that for Voima some way. So I just asked, can I take a picture of this? They said, yeah. I uploaded to Instagram and played with the filters and like edited the picture to have like maximum saturation and stuff. So I had bright colors. And through the bright colors, like an eye appeared where I guess my nose is in the x-ray. I was like, bro, this looks exactly like a face or something. I sent it to Jorma and then he just made John. That it's all him really.
What does the word John mean?
Right, John. So actually, yeah, like John was added to the game in like 2021 or 22.
Oh, wow.
But I never like had a good name for it. I kept looking for a name. And then when the game blew up this year, someone just called it John. John, John. I was like, you know what? That's better than one I had. I'll just stick with that. And then one live stream, someone spelled John, but with the word like jaw in it. I was like, bro, that is too perfect. And that's where that came from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
So the Haze, what's up with that? It's a big eyeball? Is that your eyeball?
Now the Haze, that's actually like pretty much like the first date I ever was on. It was a Tinder match.
Okay.
We were painting. We were painting random stuff, and she painted this like eyeball on this purple cloud. And I just looked at it like the vibe of this monster feels like something I would add to Voima. And so I just took a picture of it, added to Voima. At first it looked really ugly, but then I kind of improved it, and then later Jorma made a 3D model of it. I actually have the original painting here somewhere. Hold on.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, check it out. This is the original Haze painting.
Oh, wow.
It's right here. Yeah, but it's got some like blue on it. I managed to take a picture before the blue, but like that blue is, we started cuddling and then my sock went into the paint and it kind of ruined the painting.
Oh, all right.
So yeah.
All right, that's pretty cool. I like how there's like
Yeah.
a solid backstory to everything. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, there really is.
You talked a little bit about this at the beginning, but in the spirit of establishing, where did Voimma come from? What started you on this?
Right. Man, I mean, when I look back, it feels like a lifelong mission. So I can talk about like the Minecraft high as a kid. Like I always kept looking for that Minecraft 2. And I remember as a kid when I found Minecraft, I was like, yo, this game is so awesome. I bet there's another game just as good at this, like just as like cool. And then I kept looking and then years went by. I'm like, yo, is there seriously nothing even close to this game? And that was a disappointing shock. But then in like 2018, I moved cities. I moved out of home to study in a game development school. So it's a school where it's like literally all I did was on a computer. I made my own game project. I never listened to the teacher. I just was doing my own projects. But the teacher saw I was doing good, so he let it go by. And that's where I met Jorma. One day in class, Jorma was like, "Could you make a Minecraft block game, like a voxel engine?" And I had such a big ego back then. I was like, "Yeah, I could do that in 2 minutes. Just watch me." And then I speed run a basic like block building and mining thing in something like 7 minutes. But then once I saw it, like with my own eyes, like, yo, I made this. Like, this is Minecraft. Like, whoa. And then that day, I stayed up pretty much all night just improving and improving. And then I got really hooked on making a Minecraft clone and just learning how Notch did it. And then I like evolved that clone, and I was like, whoa, I've been looking for Minecraft 2, but it's like even I could have made Minecraft from a technical aspect. Like coding Minecraft is not that hard. Like I could have done it. That really opened my eyes. But I was thinking like I could make a Minecraft 2, but it will still be blocks. Like if Minecraft 2 is still a voxel game, it's forever gonna be in Minecraft Shadow, and it can't truly be Minecraft 2. So I kind of abandoned that project. And then with Jorma, we were thinking like, okay, we should make a game company and just get some money. And so we thought, what would be like an easy thing? At the time, boomer shooters were becoming a huge thing. Like Dusk had just released and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, let's make a Doom clone. And because I'm like a really Sandbox lover, I decided we're gonna have a level editor in it. And so we started working on that. But I started becoming way too ambitious with the level editor. The game was progressing slowly. And I still had that like itch, like this game is still gonna be like Doom Shadow. Like I really want to be original with the games I make. So it kept bothering me, like didn't feel like the perfect fit. The level editor was still cool, and it looks exactly like Voimma. That's like where Voimma came from. Cause like in Doom, it's like these 2D rooms that you draw, and then you view them in 3D. And so that's like in Voimma, you draw the shape and make the block. And so one night, I had a literal dream. Like I went to sleep, I had a dream where I saw my own game, where I didn't have like Yoroma with whom to like discuss and agree on ideas. It was just like full creative control of myself. And I saw like this game that had parts from all my old games. It like felt very unique. It had like a Minecraft mob spawner. It had these like two-legged deers, like human-shaped deers, and a boomerang item. And in the dream, I saw that Yoroma, he eventually found his own path, and like it was all good. And so when I woke up, I was like, yo, I gotta do this. So the next day or that day, I told Yorma what happened. I was like, bro, this is it. I'm not doing this Doom clone anymore. He was like, we've already come this way. Why don't we just make an Indiegogo and release it right now? I bet we could make some money. But I was like, nah, if we go that route, I would have to continue working on the game for years. So I was like, no, I just gotta commit to this. So I moved cities to the city where I'm now, and I just like started looking at this Doom clone that I have. It's like started thinking, what can I do with this? What is my game gonna look like? I just kind of tried it. It was like super buggy. I wasn't liking it. And then I drew like a sector, like these 2D rooms in Doom, and I looked at it like no clipped outside of it and saw it like in 3D. I have a screenshot of exact moment where I realized like, yo, I should just flip the Doom engine inside out and make it 3D and have like these slabs that you draw. And that's where Voimma began. That's where Voimma began. And so then I started coding it. And I remember those first months, I was extremely stressed. Like I couldn't even fall asleep. Like I was biting my teeth, like extremely stressed. Like, is this gonna work out? Like I kind of like just abandoned everything and just committed on this idea. And I don't know if I can even code it, if it's even feasible, if it was just like the idea is too laggy, but I just kept working on it. And there's this video on YouTube where it shows like a bunch of slabs falling from the sky. Like I got gravity worked out. And that's when I was like, okay, this is gonna work. So I just stayed committed, worked on it for years and years. And at the beginning, it looked super so super crazy. No one saw the vision, but I kept working on it. It became more, understandable, recognizable, innovative. And now this year is when it blew up. After 5 years of working, now it blew up. And now people see the vision. And that's Voimma. It's a crazy story. Crazy story.
So Yorma actually did come back into the project, worked on the bears and stuff.
Yeah. When we were making the Doom clone, we were actually living in a wooden cabin in the woods. So like
Yeah, I
I
heard about
moved from
this.
So the city where I was with the game development school, that was Outokumpu. And Jorma lived in Joensuu. So he traveled from Joensuu to this game development school city each day. But then I was like, you know what? If we're gonna make a game together, we might as well live in the same place to make it more efficient. So I moved to Joensuu. We found this super cheap cabin in the woods where we had to literally heat up the house with fire. it was so peak. Like winter finish, like it was so cool. And every day I would just explore the forest and think about stuff. And so the reason why that cabin was so cheap because the owner was on vacation for like 6 months or something. So all his furniture was still there. Near the end, before the guy was returning and we had to leave, we went our separate ways. And it was kind of like he was pretty bitter about it, as you would expect. And so that's when I didn't have any 3D modeler. So I started thinking, how can I make graphics for this game? And that's when I realized I have a camera. I can just take photos of nature and add it to the game as 2D stuff. Years later, when the gameplay was kind of like more understandable, like once he started to slowly see the vision, he was like low key on board again. So then he made the bear model and stuff like that. So he slowly came on board.
I've been seeing some of the stuff he's been making lately, the shotgun and the pickaxe you mentioned, and also there was bone tools, I think I saw.
Yeah, we're working on some like bone tools because I want the progression to be like you start with wood, but instead of the next thing being cobble and stone tools, which is super Minecraft, it's like too boring. We want it to be bone tools, which you get from Johns and skeletons. So the next tier you have to kill mobs for. I think that's a good progression line.
The slabs, you mentioned them briefly. That's what started the journey of Voima.
Yep.
So like Minecraft has blocks, Terraria's got tiles, Voima has slabs.
Yep.
So what is a slab? What is that?
Okay, so a slab, think of a 2D shape that you draw with dots. So any like polygon, a 2D shape, and then you just give that height to make it 3D. That's a slab. And so it has sharp, sharp walls, sharp flat surfaces. So it's kind of like, it's very Doom core with it. I still like, after 5 years, still find it hard to like fully describe it. It's easier to just show visually. The main thing is that it doesn't have to be on a grid. Like you can draw the shape on anything with floating point values. And so the blocks, Voima does have blocks which you can put out of the grid, but that was actually a really late afterthought. I only added them like last year, so like 4 years into the development. Because I was thinking like, Voima has this powerful tool where you can draw any shape and give it like make it 3D, like very simple. But Minecraft still had the edge on simplicity. Like any kid can just open Minecraft and click to add a block. It's very understandable, very easy, and powerful. So I kept thinking like, man, Voima is like, there's like a higher ceiling with Voima. Like it's harder to get into. What could I do to make it easier? And then one night I was like, you know what? I could just literally add blocks to Voima. Because a block is just a slab. I use the same code. It's just a square shape. And so I added that, and then my eyes opened. It's like, yo, not only did I innovate a completely new medium, but I was like, you know what, Minecraft, I'm gonna steal your best piece and add it to Voima as well. And with Voima, the blocks, they can be any size because there is no grid. So you can have different sized, and soon we'll have vertical slabs. We're gonna have the whole thing. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
That's a cool philosophy. I built a lot of things with Voima myself, or tried to. I've seen some other people got really crazy builds.
Yeah.
They've really gone all out. Probably pretty vindicating to see people make crazy stuff with your game.
Yeah, yeah. Because personally, I've never really built stuff in Voima. Because whenever I start playing Voima, I just notice bugs or things I want to improve, so I just get back to coding. So I haven't done much. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so the printer, that's the tool that people can use to like add stuff to the game, make their own universes. So what does that do right now?
Right. So Voima, the sort of like modding tools. We have the universe editor and we have the printer. With the printer, you can upload any 3D model and turn it into flat sprites. Because in Voima, the characters, they aren't 3D models, they're these flat sprites. And that again is not only an aesthetic choice, but also it's a accessibility thing. Because like a lot of the Voima things, for example, I bought this honey thing at a store. I just took a picture of it and added to the game. Like I don't have to 3D model a honey potion thing. I can just take a photo. So that's very powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And so with the printer, you can do exactly that. And then a universe editor, you can like select a bear, for example, and you can see its DNA, so to say, and you can edit any value. So you can open up inside the game, you can open up the bear file and edit its health, movement speed, aggressiveness, textures, like the whole thing. Like literally the tool that I use to make the game, the players also have. So it's like completely like democratized, like equal playing ground. And so right now, the universe editor is not where I want it to be. It's still too complicated, even though it's just lines of like like movement speed equals 10. Like it's very simple, but still I want to make it super visual and easy to use, something that a kid could just easily start messing with, you know. So, but the universe editor is a proof of concept of just how powerful the game making abilities will be in Voima.
I've seen some of the universes people have made. I saw one that was like
Yeah.
it was like a poison universe or something like that. There was one who did
Yeah.
I don't know something from Deltarune or whatever. I did see a Minecraft universe already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you did say you talked about early Minecraft. That's something I started playing around that age as well. A lot of my audience likes early Minecraft.
Mhm.
So you're inspired a lot by it.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you inspired by old Minecraft and not like modern Minecraft? What happened there?
Yeah, man. I mean, everyone feels that old Minecraft had the soul. Modern Minecraft is just like it's gone completely corporate. Like when Notch was making Minecraft, you had a visionary, you had a person leading the game. He had all the ideas in his mind that we slowly bringing into the game. But now that you remove him, all you have is this corporation that looks at what do we have now and what can we do with it. So it's kind of like instead of adding things to it, they're kind of just mixing what's already there and trying to create stuff. So it's like automatically just gonna degenerate. But then also, bro, Notch sold Minecraft to Microsoft. It's like the worst corporation out of them all. And so it's no wonder they made a completely new version, Bedrock Edition, just to add microtransactions. They literally did that to Minecraft, the number one game for player empowerment. They like trying to like now, like instead of, I think of it like this, like with indies, like with Notch or me, you're making the tools, you're making the game, and you're looking up at the community. It's like, community, what can you make with this? Do it. But Microsoft, the corporations, they just look down on the players and look like, what can I squeeze out of you? What money can we get here and there? That's completely it. Like Minecraft updates, I mean, bro, the Minecraft updates, it's all like one wooden plank type and a new mob each year. That's all they really do. And the mobs, the reason why they focus so heavily on mobs that which suck gameplay wise but look super cute, is because with that they can make new Lego sets, new T-shirts, new merchandise.
Yep.
It's all for profits. Like Minecraft, it doesn't have any purpose anymore. They're just using it to squeeze money for Microsoft. It's completely ridiculous. So yeah, but also just like outside of that, I feel like the gameplay was just more. I really like the minimalism in like beta Minecraft, even alpha Minecraft. Modern Minecraft, it's gone like I don't know. They just added too much stuff, too many mobs, too many mechanics. It just feels bloated. I'm a very minimalist guy, even though my apartment doesn't look like that. I'm a very minimalist. I love Steve Jobs and his minimalism, and that's what I want to add into Voima. Make everything super simple and easy and just like clarity. With old Minecraft, it was also more abstract, like the world generation. Like old Minecraft had the peak awesome like fantasy like exploration world generation, whereas modern Minecraft is trying to be super realistic and like you know like the super realistic mountains, they suck, bro. Like they suck for moving on them, they suck for building. Visually they're boring because like real life mountains are cooler. There's like no win in that. But old Minecraft, they had something like completely new and fresh. Like only Minecraft had that, and I miss that. I miss that.
You know something? There's a point to be made. I think with all the crazy terrain and stuff and all the like, it is hard to build on in a survival context. But if you ever scroll, like, I don't know, I don't have Instagram, I don't have Twitter, but I know that you can go through those and you can see crazy builds.
Mhm.
People will put them, they'll doctor them up with filters and shaders and have their little name on it so you can't
Yeah.
steal it. And
Right.
same thing with the subreddit. It's almost like Minecraft has been like Pinterestified. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just build to show it off
Oh
in
man.
one photo so it looks nice, but they don't
Wow.
like not to actually play.
That's a really good point.
It's not a terrible thing, I suppose. Like it's still creative, but it's certainly different than how it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm a very harsh critic of modern Minecraft, and you are as well.
Yeah.
So apologize to any modern Minecraft fans, but
Oh yeah.
anyway,
I mean, I still play modern Minecraft sometimes. I can have a good time in it, but I just really crave old Minecraft.
fair enough.
Also, like thinking about like 2011 when beta Minecraft was, the vibe and energy around Minecraft was so different than what it was today.
Yeah.
Like it was so new. Like if you look at the buildings in 2011, people didn't like really figured out how to make cool buildings yet. Whereas you look at nowadays, people playing old Minecraft, like the buildings are different. Like there's like a culture that's being created. But
Yeah.
in that 2011, it was just so fresh and new. Like I don't know, it's like so hard to put into words, but that feeling was just so unique and divine. And I really miss that. And the cool thing about Voima is I've seen a lot of comments that talk about how they finally feel that feeling again with Voima. That really unique feeling in 2011 old Minecraft. They've managed to feel that again with Voima. And that's like the best compliment you can give because that's been the driving force for Voima all these years.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, early Minecraft, I remember just adding a room to your house, and it's just like a box. Just adding a room to your house feels like a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and then over time, you learn more. You learn how to manipulate the game more, and then you build these, learn how to do these crazy building techniques, and then suddenly you never want to build anything because you want it to be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
That's
thing.
like builder's block. I see people suffer from that a lot. I get people comment all the time, talk about builder's block.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely as a kid, you don't have that. But I mean, nowadays, if you talk about like the Pinterest,
Could be an adult thing.
yeah, but also like the Pinterest aspect is like you're seeing so many cool builds, all these people that put intense amount of hours. It's like that comparison, and then it kind of demotivates you.
That's true. Yeah, the culture is very, very different.
Yeah.
I was never part of any kind of community back then. That was just me and my friends from school.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But that's almost like a topic about how gaming has changed as a whole, I guess, which not really what this is about.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is there anything else besides Minecraft you like got inspiration from other games or other real life things?
Well, Doom, old school Doom.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a game that Yorma introduced me to in like 2017, and I was shocked. Like a game from 1993, I still think is the best first-person shooter ever made.
Oh yeah.
Like the flow of it, the level design is so peak, like fast paced, like it's so peak. Like especially if it was released today as an indie game, I think it would be just as big of a success. Because like visually and stuff, it feels like a modern indie game, like perfect. And so I have a lot of love for Doom, and you can see a lot of that in Voima with the aesthetics.
Yeah.
But I also want to kind of bring in the combat, the PvP to be more like Doom because they really nailed it. Other inspirations would just be like Finnish forests. When I lived in that cabin in the woods making the Doom clone, every day I would just go into the forest, go in a random direction, explore some new areas, and just that feeling was super cool. Like it kind of felt like I remember how Miyamoto says how as a kid he would just explore random areas and role play like adventure, and that's like his inspiration for Legend of Zelda. And I felt that when I was exploring the forest, it just felt like kind of a game. And I was just every day look at the trees. I really admire trees, and I just look at their like algorithms of how they grow branches and stuff, and noticing the differences. And so I just have this like really deep love and interest for nature, and that's what I wanted to bring into Voima. Because like if you think about other games of nature, because I've looked at the trees so closely, I can tell if a video game has like incorrect trees. Because like think about it, most 3D modelers they don't touch grass. They're not in the forest looking at it. They'll like Google up a tree and make something look like it, but it doesn't feel authentic. But with Voima, because I take straight photographs, it's like really authentic. And so I feel like the forest vibe in Voima is very unique. I'm very glad to have captured that Finnish forest feel that there is. And I still want to improve it to be more immersive and more Finnish like that. So I'd say those are the three main inspirations for Voima.
Is Milo complaining behind you? I feel like I hear him growling.
Yeah. Yeah, he always wants to play and stuff.
Oh, poor guy. What's something that a lot of people like don't get about Voimma, like the misunderstandings? I have looked at the community a little bit. I see that I feel like a lot of people don't. They think it's just like bear themed Minecraft.
Yeah, there's some of that.
There's some misconceptions out of there. What are some of those?
Yeah, so the number one comment that I see that gets to me is like, I don't feel like Voima is a game. There's no real gameplay. It's kind of like a sandbox game. You build stuff and that's it. And I mean, that's true, but like that's very short term thinking. Like, obviously, Voima is going to have like in depth survival gameplay and all that. I just need time to cook and code it. So that's like the number one misconception. People thinking that it's just going to be a sandbox game, which is not. This is Minecraft 2. Minecraft 2 has to have survival gameplay, and I'm not just going to copy Minecraft. I'm going to really innovate it. So with it, For example, there's going to be the tower defense kind of gameplay that I've talked about, which is,
Oh yeah.
you know, Jeb, he talks about how modern Mojang wouldn't make the creeper explode and break people's buildings. But in Voima, we're gonna double down. So these Johns, they can eat your walls. So if a John is mad at you and you go inside your house for shelter, he'll just start eating your walls, all the blocks, and get to you. And so mob griefing is gonna be a big part. And when people first hear that, they're really concerned. It's like, why would I build anything if it's just gonna get destroyed? But here's where the survival gameplay comes in. You're gonna want to make strong fortresses. So think about it. This idea I think I'm gonna execute is instead of having iron for iron tools, you're gonna use iron for iron blocks to build a strong wall so no one can come and grief your base. And so think about that feeling when you've managed to put enough time into the game to make a big enough base where you have like a sheltered off, secure area, like that feeling of like flex. Because like, in Minecraft, the feeling of building something in survival is so much more impressive and rewarding than in creative. So in Voima, you're gonna have that, but also the feeling of security, of like successfully making a secure area. But also, these bears, you'll be able to befriend the bears. So you can hire bears to defend your base and like guard your base, and you can also hire the bears to repair your walls. So it's gonna be very automated. It's gonna be like, I guess there's gonna be some like civilization simulation stuff and tower defense kind of stuff, but that's like the real big vision for Voima survival, and that's something I feel like no game has really touched on. Like the survival genre has not evolved much since Minecraft. You just get the tools and the crafting and just like linear progression. Like I want to do something really different.
That's interesting. So yeah, it sounds like you're combining a lot of stuff. And you know what? Notch, okay? Early on, I'm sure you know a lot about this. But when he was first talking about the villagers before they were ever added, he's like, I want to have NPCs. I want you to be able to, you could help them or you can hurt them. You could defend the village or you can attack the village. And not only that, but there was a lost version of, I think, beta 1.2 that was found.
Really?
In this lost version, you might have seen, there was builder mobs. There was Steve mobs that would build for you.
Damn.
That sounds like it was a little bit in the works for a little bit.
Wow. Wait, so like beta 1.2?
I think it was beta 1.2. It was like an unreleased developer version of beta 1.2. It also had Coral. Yeah, it had Coral.
What? Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The AI for the builders like isn't terribly complex. That they just like they build random stuff. It doesn't make sense. But it's kind of interesting to think about where it could have gone.
And that's the thing, like, if Notch wouldn't have sold out, like, I bet he had a ton of ideas and vision for Minecraft that he had yet to, like, bring out. Whereas if you remove Notch from the game, you lose all those ideas and that, like, confidence for changing Minecraft, and now you just have a corporation that's stuck on, like, what Minecraft is. We can't go too far from this,
Yeah, that's true.
But I remember as a kid, I saw a Minecraft mod where it had these NPCs, like Steve-like NPCs, and you could give them different roles. Like one would be a lumberjack, you'd cut down trees. One would go mining and look for ores and stuff like that. And that like really left an impression on me. I saw that in like 2011, and that was like, that's like the seed for this tower defense, like having these bears build and defend for you idea.
All right. Well, here's another question. So, I'm sure you get a lot of input from people about what you should add. I see people ask all the time, like, you should add this, you should add. There's this old suggestion forum on the Discord. So, what's something people request a lot that you absolutely don't want to put in?
Good question. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. I mean, initially when the game blew up and people were suggesting a lot of stuff, I was at first kind of like held off from it for like example, idea of adding dimensions, adding world generation, adding bosses. But now that people have suggested so much, I've like opened up to the idea and I'm gonna add them and I look forward to it. So can't think of any specific idea that I've kind of disagreed that strongly on. I'm sure there's something, but nothing really comes to mind. Community has been like pretty on point with Voima, feels like.
All right. Well, how about this? What was the best feature that, in your opinion, that started as a community request?
There's a lot of ideas that I still just haven't had the time to code in. For example, like adding honey and bees. That's like be like the number one suggestion because of the bears. Gonna add that for sure. And just like focusing more on the bears, like adding polar bears, panda bears, stuff like that. Things that without the community, as I said, I wouldn't have thought of because I never took the bear that seriously. But it's funny to see that. And I guess world generation, like initially, I was thinking of having zero world generation. Instead, I would have the community build these worlds of like, an island with terrain and normal stuff, and people play that. Because, I've played Minecraft with the Seed Glacier a lot of times.
Oh, really?
And that's kind of like a proof of concept. Like, you don't really need new generation, like new terrain. You can just like fit in with a specific one. But nah, world generation, we gotta have that. I'm really glad I added it recently.
World generation and survival was just added very recently.
Yep.
So how's that going? I've seen some photos. I played it myself. The world gen's pretty crazy right now. The 2 layers of like the floating
Yeah.
and the limited worlds. It's interesting how it's a
Yep.
circle,
Yep.
instead of like a square, like an indev.
Yeah. The day that I added world generation to Voima, I was awake for like 36 hours and I coded for 30 hours straight
Oh my gosh.
coding it. And you can see on Discord on the blog post and stuff, you can like confirm that. I still can't comprehend how that was even possible, but I added that and I was just like experimenting with different types. Originally, I just wanted there to be like a simple island, just start a basic, but then I realized like I could have floating islands by just choosing certain chunks of the land to be just lifted up. And the vibe from these floating islands felt so much like in dev and old Minecraft that I just fell in love with it. But this is just the first phase. I already got planned the new world generation. So it's gonna start with this basic um, like island, like lake with islands and mountains, just normal terrain. And then outside of that, there will be these floating islands. So you start off on a basic world generation, you make your house, you gather resources, then you have to pretty much like build to these floating islands. So it's kind of like a progression that way. And the higher that these islands are, the colder they are. So there'll be like winter floating islands high above. I also want to add caves. We got an idea for how we're going to add caves. So that's going to be under the main island. I'm kind of thinking, should there be like a hell dimension down below? Kind of like Terraria, where if you just mine down enough, you enter hell. But I feel like it's kind of too generic and low-key kind of negative. So I might have to think of something new there. But that's going to be the next thing that I work on. Because even though the floating islands right now are cool, it's not really the best terrain for building stuff. It just doesn't feel that. So you kind of need that normal terrain, but definitely have floating islands also in there. Because I want to really focus on this like abstract, surrealist world generation that old Minecraft had. It's not going to be realistic in any sense. It's going to have the finished forest, trees and stuff, but that's it. Like the actual terrain is going to be crazy. And honestly, I would love to add farlands to Voima. Right now it's a bit difficult, but I think someday we'll be having farlands like generation in Voima, which again is like, why would Minecraft remove that, bro? They should have made that a bigger part of the gameplay. Like, bro, I would have much more gladly had like the end be like a small area that has farlands around it, something like that, bro. The end sucks so much, but anyways, that's the vision for Voima's world terrain. And also, you mentioned how the current terrain is like a circle instead of a box, and that's again like, we gotta think outside the box with this one. It's like the Minecraft squares, it's way too overdone. With Voima you can have all these shapes, so we might as well make it as round as it can. And also, the current terrain is all out of these blocks. It looks very much like Minecraft with the blocks, and it doesn't utilize Voima slab function with having walls at any angle. So that's going to be next. But the slabs lack a lot of functionality that it needs. Like, you can't really mine into these slabs or make holes into them. That's 100% gonna be added. That just requires a lot of intense math and coding that I just haven't gotten to yet. So these blocks are kind of like an easy way to get like the basic idea out there and basic gameplay. So that's just gonna be the first step. And then later we'll revolutionize the world generation with our own style, with all these slabs, with different angles and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's what we got planned.
Yeah, it's interesting to think how like terrain gen and like survival progression kind of shapes what the players will do, like a survival game. Like people obviously played in dev very differently than they play inf dev, where there's infinite terrain.
Yeah, the worlds in Voima will be finite. So, you know, Minecraft is very known for having infinite worlds that forever generate new terrain, but Voima will be finite. And I think that's actually going to be a really good change for the sandbox genre because with Minecraft, you know, in like principle, it sounds cool, like an infinite world, but in practice, it just makes all your buildings super far away from each other. And if you play multiplayer, people in Minecraft, they make bases like thousands of blocks away from each other, and it's like, what's the point of multiplayer at that point? It's kind of like single player.
That's true.
So with Voimo, I just want finite worlds. That way, you kind of like really cherish the land that you have. It's like very limited, special, unique. But in Voima, you'll be able to make portals. So inside one of your finite worlds, you'll be able to make a portal that generates a new finite world, and you can like move your inventory between them. So you can connect multiple finite worlds together, and that way you can have like infinite resources, infinite size worlds and stuff. So I think that's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's cool. I think you have a good point about the finite worlds. I remember anytime that I ever started on like an SMP or what do you call it?
Yeah, that's
Multiplayer
what-
server, right? Everyone just moves away, and I guess and then they die. They die after 2 weeks. And you know
Sure.
what? The most recent one I was on, which was a few years ago, I did that, and it was at a beta SMP called Back to Beta. I'm sure some people listening know what that is.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you heard of that?
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I did that for a little bit, and then like second episode, I'm like, all right, time to move out and find our base. Nobody else did it.
Mm.
And everybody was at spawn and having a great time. And then I was all the way out here like trying to build this mansion. And I'm like,
Mm,
oh god. I'm just playing single player but laggier. It's terrible. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a good point, forcing the players to, cherish their space and like servers. I can imagine what those are gonna be like.
yeah. And like I remember as a teenager, I would make servers, Minecraft servers with my friends, where we specifically limited the world. Like we have a world border,
Mhm.
so the world would be like 2,000 by 2,000 blocks or something. So we like specifically limit our worlds, and that just like it made the land much more valuable. Like, oh, this guy, he's got all the cool mountains in our server. Like, it just made all the land very special, unique, and valuable and cherishable. I think it's like very underrated.
Multiplayer was just added as well. You just incorporated
Yep.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's been some, I think I was there opening day. I think I was there for the first one,
Hmm.
the first multiplayer test. There's been a lot since then. So how's that going? What is that going to look like in the future?
Right. So actually, that ties into the question you asked earlier. It's like, what was the best like Voima feature that the community suggested? It's like since day one that Voima blew up, people kept asking, "Will there be multiplayer?" And I always brushed that off as like, bro, coding a multiplayer sandbox, especially a Voima like crazy sandbox. Do you realize how much work that is? There's no way I could do that. So I kept brushing it off, brushing it off. Then somehow someone suggested like an adventure mode multiplayer where no one could destroy blocks. It would just be players. And I was like, you know what? That's actually really easy to code. I could do that. I have like basic multiplayer experience. And so I started looking into it. Then I realized like, oh, I could just make the entire multiplayer. Like very surprisingly, I was able to make Sandbox multiplayer with the help of Disc, Voima member. And so now we got multiplayer, and it's buggy. It's very buggy. I should like buy a hard drive for my laptop so I can test it in person, like develop it. But the vibes of the current Voima multiplayer is very similar to like Minecraft Classic multiplayer. It's pretty crazy. I like it's like it's the exact same feeling. That's cool.
Yeah.
But the future, we just gotta add more functionality, fix the bugs, like a survival multiplayer server in Voima where people start making like let's plays, like like Minecraft, Hermitcraft, that kind of stuff in Voima. That's gonna be so cool to see. That's like the next huge step for Voima.
All right. What about like survival progression? So earlier we talked about it. You said like wood, then bone tools because you want to have to kill mobs to
Yep.
get better tools. So like, what does that look like? The full, if you want to share it, the full progression map, or at least the idea of it right now.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still thinking about it because again, I don't want to repeat Minecraft too much. So I'm still debating like, do we really want to have ores? Should there be iron? Should there be diamonds? So I'm still thinking on that, but I definitely wanted there to be wooden tools because Minecraft had the wooden pickaxe, and that like that's like such an abstract idea. Like there's no way that would work in real life. So I think that's just funny. And like, so I just wanted to add a wooden pickaxe to Voimma as a reference to Minecraft. And it's cool to see a wooden pickaxe that's like more realistic and stuff. And then playing with that idea, we have the wooden shotgun, which again is like, how would that ever work in real life? But it's a game. It's Voimma. So we have that. And so, the next step will be like bone tools, like a bone pickaxe or bone gun, something like that. You might be like shooting teeth out of a gun. And I also want to add fire. And with fire, you could like turn wood into charcoal and make a charcoal shotgun that like is on fire.
Okay.
So that's like the current stuff we have planned. I'm still cooking on it. I don't really have much more to say on that right now.
I did see you had like a chain gun planned. It was like a lamp that shot lightning or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Like a lamp. It's a lighting up. That's specifically designed for multiplayer. Because like Quake has like the railgun, like a kind of like a sniper rifle.
Mhm.
And we definitely need something like that for Voimma. And that reminds me, like the Voimma multiplayer, a big step that's gonna really open people's eyes to it is once we have like really good PvP stuff. Because you could do some like really good battle royale games in Voimma. Like just imagine like Fortnite in Voimma. Like easy bridging and building tools, and then you have the guns that can destroy the buildings. Like that's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be really cool. Because like in Minecraft, you can't break blocks with any guns or stuff like that, which I feel like is a really missed opportunity. Whereas in Voimma, all the blocks they have health, so anything that deals damage can also deal damage to a block and just break it, which is gonna open a lot of PvP possibilities.
Stalker introduced me to this, but he told me about a game that's not around anymore called Ace of Spades. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a sandbox game, blocks and everything, but it was two teams versus each other. And basically, you had you had a rifle, you had to run around and dig and build trenches and fight your other team. I never played it. I wish I did, but it got killed because they added a bunch of crap to it, and then nobody played it, and then it got shut down. I think.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it came out in like 2012 or something, like really early on.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, and then later they made a Steam release. But I mean, it was pretty cool as a kid, but I mean, it's still kind of shallow. It's just like Minecraft with more guns, kind of.
So the Johns are going to be like destructive. They're going to be like Voimma creepers.
Pretty much.
Basically, the reinforcing you need to have a better base, you need to build stronger things. They're going to be a big motivation for the player, right?
Yep.
So what can the John do? You said they could eat blocks. How are you going to prevent the player from dumping them in the pit and then just walking away?
Well, I mean, the Johns still just keep spawning, but we gotta add more creatures to Voimma because
Really?
Minecraft barely scratched the potential of Sandbox. It's crazy that Minecraft, the PvP, the combat in Minecraft sucks. If a skeleton is chasing you, you can just build dig down 2 blocks and put a block, and you're completely invincible. No mob can get to you through blocks. Even with the Enderman, it's such a lost opportunity. With the Enderman, all you need to do is put a roof above your head and you're invincible. They should have made so that the Enderman just takes the blocks on top of you so it can get to you. They should utilize that Sandbox aspect with the mobs. So, in Voimma, we have the Johns that can eat walls, break blocks, but we should definitely have some mob that can imagine you have a wall and they just start pillaring up to get over the wall. So let them build stuff. There's so many possibilities out there for that kind of stuff.
So what about bears? You said that you could hire them to build, to what they can man, they can shoot other mobs for you. What else will they be able to do?
So they'll be able to build stuff. I'll be adding a blueprint system. You could build a house, select it, and save it as a blueprint. And now you could place the house blueprint here, which is an exact clone of the house. You just click on the blueprint to add blocks to it, so it automatically start building it block by block, as long as you have the needed resources for that. So if you as the player, you place a house blueprint here, you could just tell the bears, okay, start hitting this blueprint to build it up block by block. So you could just have these bears build stuff for you. And so say you have a fortress wall, you save that as a blueprint. If a John breaks a hole into it, the game still has the information for what the wall used to look like. So the bears know how to repair it. So the bears will automatically be able to repair all the holes in your wall. So this whole idea of being scared that all your buildings will get destroyed, there's no point in playing, it's that's That's very short-term thinking. Like it's gonna be very automatic and like, bro, like the vision is just so cool. Imagine you have a fortress, you build it during daytime, nighttime comes the Johns, the monsters there start attacking it, try and get into it and infiltrate. You defend them all night. Then during the day, all your bears start automatic repairing your base. Like the game is gonna feel so alive. Whereas Minecraft, it just feels like the player is the only source of life in it. Like without the player, Minecraft is so like lifeless. Like nothing happens in the world. Nothing. But in Voima, it's gonna be like the player is not gonna even be like the main character really. It's just gonna be a witness, a part of the world. The game itself is gonna have life.
You know, early Minecraft, like beta, before Adventure Update, there's no NPCs. I mean, there's the pigs and there's monsters, right? But there's no villagers, there's nothing like that. They don't do anything. So the only thing that does anything is a player. But now you have modern Minecraft where it's like you have, what's the narrative? It's like pillagers versus villagers or something. Like, so there is kind of NPCs, but they don't really do anything. Like they exist purely so you can enslave them.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that's interesting that you like Voima, all the NPCs are going to have like a big purpose, you know, that they can all do something. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, Minecraft villagers are a real disappointment. They really do nothing.
Yeah.
They don't have any brains. And I think the pillager stuff only happens if the player is around also.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so like the world is not alive without the player in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Which is that's pretty much for all games, I feel like that's just the gaming standard that we have for game design, but with Voim I really want to change that and really explore new ideas.
Let's talk about you a little bit. So before, you know, Voima started as a Doom clone, but what were you working on? Were you working on any games before Voima?
I started making games since I was 12 years old, and it started pretty funny. Like I was in school, and my friend came up to me and just asked, "Yo, you want to make a game?" I was like, "Yeah, that's like the best idea I've ever heard. How come I didn't come up with this?" And that night, I Googled how to make a game, and I found Unity, and I've just been using that ever since. And so I'm a really creative kid. Like as a kid, I was in art clubs, art class, all that stuff. So with the video games, I always had some idea that I was working on, coming up with more ideas for. And so I just had these many like small projects. They all try to be a bit sandboxy, but you know, as a 12-year-old, you're like learning to code. It took me a long time to get like good at coding. The thing with my game project is I always had an idea that was ambitious, like a game idea that was outside of my reach of how I could make it. But the game idea was so cool and interesting that motivated me to improve my skills to be able to make it. So with that, I always like leveled up my abilities, and you know, once I got like over that hump and like was able to execute the idea, I then came up with a bigger idea and you know, abandoned my old project and just moved forward. Kept doing that, but with Voima is like the first game where I can't think of anything bigger. Like this is it. This is what I've been waiting for and working for. So like 5 years, I've been really committed, and I'm gonna continue working on this 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, my whole life, I feel like.
So Unity is your tool of choice. You ever use anything like Unreal?
In the game development school that I was in, they did teach some Unreal. So I saw the basics, I tried it out. Personally, I like Unity. I'm a lot more, I feel like the menus and stuff are just simpler and cleaner. But yeah, I've just stuck with Unity. But with Voima, I don't actually use almost anything that Unity provides. Like the physics, I've coded myself in Voima. So if anyone that's used Unity, you know how you have a scene, you have game objects, you have components. If you look at Voima scene, it's like it's only one camera and a light source. That's it. Like
Wow.
all these cars and slabs, they're not game objects, they're not components, they're all inside of my own code. So even though it's in Unity, I've kind of made my own game engine inside of Unity. And I definitely suggest that for everyone making like bigger games, like more ambitious, more serious games. But you know, if you're making something simple and small, it's fine to use Unity stuff. But that's how I like to do it. I like to code my own systems because I really enjoy coding, and I got a great mind for it. I like designing all these like structures, like the architecture of the code, and just having full control over it. Because if I were to use Unity stuff, then you have to comply with Unity's way of how they coded it. Like the physics in Unity, first of all, they would lag way too much for a game like Voima. But then also like how you would control it is very different from how I can control Voima's code, because I have the exact same code. Like I have the code right there for me to edit and change into whatever I need it to be. And so it's much better to have your own system for the game. And so Voima, right now it has like something like 62,000 lines of code that I've written. I'm a minimalist, so I keep like reducing the amount of code and simplifying it. So in total, I've written an insane amount of code for Voima.
Man, that a lot of that blows over my head. I mean, as far as ability goes. So you've been doing it since you've been 12, and how old are you?
I'm 25.
You say you wrote like 62,000 lines, or you probably wrote a lot more than that. But I know that you also wrote a whole lot into like notebooks about what you want Voima to be.
Yeah.
You got some of those nearby?
Yeah. These are all
Oh my goodness.
just Voima notebooks. They're full of Voima game design, code design, thoughts, ideas, all Voima from 5 years.
Oh my lord. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, 5 years, you know. And every day I just write stuff into these, write down ideas and stuff like that. It's kind of like, stuff like that. I mean, I also got like, these ones, they have like more business stuff. I had to like learn business stuff more. It's just full of stuff. And so I think I want to do is, I would love to like scan all these pages and make them like available for like Patreon members or something like that.
Kind of peek into your mind a little bit.
Yeah, because bro, I would pay so much to see like Notch's notebooks or something, bro. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of scanning. Is the first notebook probably pretty different from the most recent one?
Let's see. It's the first one. I mean, it's pretty much the same. I guess I like drew more stuff here.
Huh.
Had more fun. Like this is where I started to realize I should make the game more 3D, like the slab invention kind of stuff. Kind of where it started. Late June 2020. Kind of when Voima was born. There's like thousands of pages where I just draw like these slab shapes and stuff. It's kind of schizophrenic. So I'm just trying to figure out how to code the physics and stuff.
Awesome.
Just like insane amount of like these polygon shapes.
On that vein, I'm kind of curious because I've heard this talked about very sparingly. But what is Nate Sherman? What is that? Who is that?
Nate Sherman. He's one with nature, man. So that was my artist name back then when making Voima, but now I've changed to Valtsu. Because the issue, like Nate Sherman, so it's a play on a word that sounds like nature man. I was thinking like that's a really cool thing. I'm gonna use that as my name. But then I thought about it, like if someone were to talk about me on a podcast, like, yo, have you heard about Nature Man? And then they Google Nature Man and not Nature Man, that's like bad marketing. So I had to think of a new name. And now I just use Valtsu, which is like my nickname of my real name, Valtteri, which I've been called since I was a kid. And I really like it. It's really simple and stuff. So, but Nate Sherman, that's actually gonna be a part of the Voima lore in the worlds. I won't reveal too much, but Nate Sherman is a character in the Voima universe.
Fair enough. Mystery.
Yeah.
What about the Valtsu rap career? I've seen you freestyle a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now I am actually working on a Voim album. It's gonna be full of rap.
Oh my goodness.
And that's like, bro, it's gonna be so cool. Like whenever I mention rap that I rap, people are like, oh boy, it's like a red flag and like whack. But nah, I'm actually a good rapper. Like I've been rapping and writing lyrics for like 3 years or something now. And so this album, it's gonna be called Voim. It's like, bro, no one's done anything like this. There's like so many raps that are like diss tracks on like Microsoft, diss tracks on Valve, talking about Notch, talking about Steve Jobs, talking about Voima. It's like a whole new subject matter that's never been touched on music. And then it's like, bro, can you name any other game developer that also made music and that made a rap album talking about the games and stuff? Like, bro, this is like new territory. So I'm looking really forward to it.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah.
Here's something I heard about you recently, is that when you were a kid, you lived in Indonesia.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that about? Why were you living there?
Yeah, so
It's pretty far from Finland, isn't it?
oh yeah. So my father, he works at Nokia. They offered him a job all around the world. And so like my first ever memory was when I was 1 years old, my first year birthday in the United States. So we lived there for a few years. And
Really?
yeah. And I have memories from there. But then we moved to Singapore when I was like 5. They put me into an international English speaking school, and I didn't know any English yet. So they just threw me in there, an English only school. And so I slowly started learning English. And that's why my English is so good right now. Like, honestly, my English, even though I'm Finnish and I speak Finland like totally normally, my English is still better and more smooth. Like, I just think in English all the time.
Huh.
And I learned to write English before I learned to write Finnish. We lived in Singapore for a few years. Then we moved to Indonesia and lived there for a few years. I found Minecraft in Indonesia like a few months before we moved to Finland. And so in 2011, I moved to Finland and I've been here since. And that culture shock was crazy. Cause like in Indonesia, bro, our life, cause like it's a poor country. So if you come there with like Finnish euro money, you can live really well. So we had, and Nokia paid for like our housing and our school. So we had our own big house. It was so big that me and my sister would like ride around in like scooters in there. And we had our own pool. We had our like garden guy. We had a guard. We had our own driver just waiting there like all day if we needed to go anywhere. We had a maid. Each room had their own bathroom. Like it was insane, bro. Like rich lifestyle, really. And then we moved from that to Finland where it's cold, it's dark, smaller house. And then I put into a Finnish school and I just feel like I don't fit in. Like the culture shock was really intense. And then my parents divorced, so we moved into a even smaller house where my mom would just sleep in the living room and stuff. So that change in like a year or 2 years was insane. Insane. But I'm really grateful for the experiences I had as a kid abroad and seeing like a rich lifestyle like that. So also the school I went to was like a private school, like very top tier. And all the classmates were like from all over the world, like United States, Asia, Europe, like very diverse. So that really left an impression on me. And I feel like because of that experience, I've always had this feeling that I'm gonna become a millionaire someday. Like I'm gonna return back to that rich lifestyle that I was, because I saw it in my own eyes. Like, oh, I can be here, so I can get there again. Like it just feels natural.
Were you born in Finland or were you born
Yeah,
somewhere else?
I'm born in Helsinki. Yeah,
Where in the US were you at?
yeah, we were in Washington, not the state, the other one, the city.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, the other one. So, will Milo be added to Voima?
Yes.
Oh, he will.
Yes, that's been a long planned feature. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, people love Milo. He's a real character on the live streams too when he's like jumping for the balloon that's right there. And actually, during this interview, he's been whining because he wants to jump on that balloon. But
I've been seeing him staring at it
yeah,
in the
it's
background.
crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 9 years old.
All right, here's a question for me and me only.
Hmm.
What's your favorite kind of tea?
I'd say green tea with a bit of milk. That's pretty good.
Green tea with milk. Huh. That's different.
Yeah, just a bit, just a bit.
Well, I'm going to move back into some Voima development stuff. I saw this recently in your teaser channel, right? So there's this new mob or this new, what do you call them? You don't call them mobs, do you?
Yeah, it's like mobs is a very Minecraft invented term, but it's difficult
It
because
just means mobile.
is that where it comes from?
Yeah, it's just short for mobile, like they move.
Oh, I always thought it was it like like an angry mob, like a group of angry people, like a mob. Is that where it came from?
Huh.
But mobile,
Well, anything could be a mob, really. Anything that moves in the game is a mob.
yeah. But yeah, I don't really like to call them mobs because, again, with Voima, I really want to focus on simplicity and clarity, and so having like these very like culture specific words like mob, I want to avoid. But it's difficult because everyone has played Minecraft, so they call things mobs. But
True.
I want to make the game understandable for people that haven't played Minecraft. Thinking like very long term. So I just call them creatures or characters, something like that.
Because I'm also doing vintage story stuff, and I have like a big vintage story fan base. So whenever I use Minecraft terminology or I talk about Minecraft, it's like a bad word. Like they don't want you saying
I
it.
see. I see. That's interesting. Yeah. Also, another term is like creative mode.
Yeah,
People always say creative mode, but
but it's world editor, isn't it?
yeah, world editor. Because like, bro, survival is low key more creative than creative mode. So it's kind of like
Hmm.
it's not that good of a term. It's just a cultural thing.
That's true. It's a different way of looking at it. That's well. Anyway, new creature, Goober.
Goober.
What is that supposed to be?
Yeah, so that's there's this one shoddy that I've been texting with, and she made that plushie herself. Like it's a real plushie, like huge. And she sent pictures of it, and I was like, "Yo, can I add that to Voima?" Again, it's like all these creatures and stuff that I add to Voima. There's just like happenstance. Like, yo, that would just fit into Voima. And so I just took the photos, removed the background, and added to the game. And that's again like, it's really great how the characters in Voima are 2D because you can just easily add them from pictures. And so now we have Goober, and I gave it some sound effects. I literally just used some Milo toys. So like, for example, this. So when you punch a Goober, it just does this sound.
Oh,
Again, I don't really know what Goober is for. We're kind of thinking about it together as a community.
okay.
The best idea we have right now is that it's kind of like a plushie that came to life. So if you kill it, it makes a squeaky noise, but it would also drop like cotton or the stuff that's inside plushies. And Goober would probably be more like a pet and like a neutral mob. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of up in the air for now.
Earlier, you were thinking humans are going to be the main characters, right?
Yeah.
But then it became the bears. So do you think that humans will ever be added? Like you could ever play as a person? Will that ever be part of Voima, or will it just be as it is now with the bears, all different bear types?
Because of the lore that I've already come up with for Voima, there won't be humans.
Hmm.
It's a very specific part of the lore why there won't be humans. But there will be this creature that's like it's like a human head with a long hat and a beard, and it moves with the beard, kind of like a snail. You can show a visual of it. And so, I mean, those are humans, but they'd be like cursed to live like that.
All right, yeah, I think I saw it. It looked like a gnome thing.
Yeah.
What about your immediate scope of development? So, what are you working on right now? Like, what's on the table at the moment?
Right now, I'm working on the world editor menus. Because I was at a game convention and people could play Voima, and I was just looking at them trying to build stuff. And I noticed how the menus are way too full of settings. Like people get like paralyzed by how many options. Milo, the menus are just way too complicated. Like too many settings. People get paralyzed by what they should be doing, how it works. So right now, I've just been simplifying the menus as simple as possible. So like removing as many buttons as possible, just making it super easy so that any kid could just start making. And I'm making some really great progress with that. So that's what I'm focused on right now. After that, I gotta fix some multiplayer stuff, and then I want to add the new world generation ideas that I've been talking about here.
Okay.
So that's the immediate scope.
Let's look ahead into like 5 years from now.
Mhm.
So, what do you want to have done by then? I know you're not a big deadline guy,
Right.
but like, what do you think the game is going to look like? I guess in 5 years.
In 5 years, we'll have the full survival gameplay loop added. We'll have fully working multiplayer. We'll also have mobile port. That'll be a thing. Probably console ports too. That shouldn't be too difficult. And then these tools, like the modding tool, will be extremely easy to add your own characters, make your own universes. Like seriously, like an idea that I want to have is like a mobile port of Voima, and you just take like any object, like this, for example. You scan it with your phone just like this, and it makes a 3D model, turns it into sprites in the game, and you just instantly add it. Take out all like the 3D modeling, like limits and stuff. Just make everything extremely accessible. And also, like right now, it's just the finished forest with the bears, that universe. But the idea has always been to have multiple universes. So there will be a lot of like official big universe. Like the Voima, it's like it's kind of like buying 3,000 games in one. It's gonna feel like that because we're gonna just keep adding content. Like instead of me making one game, then like okay, that's done well. Let's start making a new game, new engine, yada yada. I'm just gonna keep working on Voima and add all my future games inside of Voima. So this is like very like long-term thinking for me. Like right now, I've been putting in the work, the infrastructure, the foundation for this tool, and in the future, me making games will just be me playing my own game with the tools. Like this is like it's gonna be so easy, so awesome. So that's like the bigger picture.
And right now, you can get the demo for free,
Yep.
but you get your pre-orders are up. They're live. It's like 15 euros,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And you said no DLC, no marketplace, none of that stuff.
Yeah. No microtransactions, no skins, none of that.
I'm just curious from a business perspective, like what are you gonna do for revenue besides selling the game? Are you gonna do? You talked about like a Patreon. Is there other stuff?
Right. Yeah, so this is a common question I get, mostly from like boomers, like my father, because he thinks like, oh, so tell me again, you're gonna sell the game as a one-time purchase and that's it? Like no monthly subscription, no microtransactions? Like how are you gonna make enough money? But people forget Minecraft didn't have microtransactions. Beta Minecraft, it was insanely popular. Notch got super rich with it with just one-time payments. Like because video games are like a global market, you have enough people to keep buying the game. So that's not a concern. But we will be making like merchandise. So people keep asking for like plushies of the bear, of the John, and t-shirts and stuff. So I'm looking into that, but that's not like an immediate future thing because with the t-shirts, I really gotta find like a good source to make them because right now the only options are like sweatshops that make low quality stuff, which most people do, but like it's sweatshop stuff, low quality, and then you have to price it like 30 euros or something for a t-shirt. It's like I don't want I don't want people wasting their money or like ripping people off in any way. So I want to make it right. But someday we will have Voima merchandise and right now, Voima is just fully funded with the pre-orders. That's the best way you can support Voima. And right now, it's already funded me for the rest of the year, so I'm just been chilling. I guess I should make like a Patreon or something soon. Still kind of thinking but the thing is, I'm really not like a business type of guy. Like all I want to do is make the game and like game design and code and talk with the community. That's what I'm focused on. Then I'm just always kind of like forced into this world of like business and marketing. So like, Voima's gotten a lot of views. It's like got a big following on all the social medias. But that's kind of like just all God. God has just made some videos go viral. And then like, we get good views, but then I always ghost them. So I'm not the best marketing guy, but I think like, think about Notch. Notch didn't do any marketing. He just made the game as good as it can, and then the people, the community made it into a big thing. So that's really what I just gotta focus on. I just need enough money with the pre-orders to continue working on Voima, to make Voima as good as it can be, and then that'll just naturally solve all the problems. If someone else was in my shoes, I'm sure they could have gotten super rich, like capitalizing on the hype, adding memberships, adding microtransactions, making plushies, sweatshop t-shirts, whatever, but I'm just genuinely not that interested in it. I just want to make the game. I live a good life. Like I got this studio apartment. I love it. I eat healthy. I go to the gym and that's like all I need. I don't need money on anything fancy. So it's just how I'm doing it with Voima. Yeah.
Yeah. And when's the game gonna officially release? Or like what is the game gotta hit? What milestones you gotta hit before it can do an official release kind of thing?
I'd say like the basics of having a fully working multiplayer, a really rewarding and in-depth survival gameplay loop, and just enough characters and mobs, and just like overall just polishing the game. All I know is that right now it is not ready. It is not ready. I haven't even made the Steam page like reviewable because I know the game is so incomplete. If I put the ability for people to add reviews right now, it would just be like, I love the Bears, but there's no real gameplay. It's just a sandbox, yada yada, and then they forget about it. So I'm just focusing right now on fixing the bugs, adding more gameplay loops, making the tools more powerful, and that kind of stuff. Right now, I've just been saying like late next year it might be full release, but who knows, man? Honestly, I don't want to do deadlines, so who knows? But I'm just gonna continue updating the game, and before the full release, the demo will be just a full version of the game, like no limitations.
And if you pre-order, you get to name a bear, right? So
Mhm.
it's like you get to add a name to the list of names a bear picks when it spawns, essentially, like NPC names.
Exactly, yeah.
I bought two. I bought one for myself, and it was what was it? Bartholomew. Very, very creative. And then the other one, I just like did my girlfriend's name because she wanted to have a bear.
That's sweet. That's sweet, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty fun way to include the community. And it's like Voima's gonna be so huge in the future, but right now it's still like niche, underground, it's like the beginning. And all these people in the community right now, you guys are like the first inhabitants of the Voima world. So it only makes sense that the bears are named after you guys, you know.
Is there anything, like any big concepts that we haven't talked about yet?
I think we touched on everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
We even touched the rap album. So
Even the rap
Yeah.
album. You want to close us
Yeah.
out with a freestyle?
Man,
All right.
I
All
could
right. All right.
try. We can cut it out if it's not good.
Yeah. All right. Voimma freestyle.
Okay. Working on Voimma every day. This is the game I was made to make. Yeah, this is feeling like my fate. I feeling like Notch in the old days. Yeah, except this time I'm looking straight to my God. I won't sell out. I won't become another Notch. I won't give in to the Microsoft ops. Nah, the devil had its way once and that was enough. Man, this is that new Voimma. We going straight to the top. Looking at Minecraft, is it declining with old age? But me, I'm still in my own prime age. Y'all cannot hit me. I go in my own way. Renamed my game from Nature Games. We got so many ways of da-da-da-da-da. That's something. That's something.
All
That's
right.
not bad.
Beautiful. That's awesome. That's actually, I didn't expect you to go on as long as you did. All right. Pretty good. Right off the cuff. Voimma is available for free as a demo on Steam right now, but you can also pre-order it on Coffee as well, and then soon on the website, the official Voimma website, correct? It's 15 euros.
Yep.
You can also donate. You can name a bear if you pre-order right now. And I've already, as I said, I pre-ordered 2. It's because I'm extremely generous. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All the links are going to be in the description. Do you want to link for the Discord in the description?
Yeah, Discord. That's where I'm most active. So I tend to ghost on my social medias, but Discord, I'm on there every day talking to people. That's the best way you can get on the Voimma dues.
All right. There's going to be a link to the Voimma Discord as well. You should check that out. You want to get into the community, see what everybody's building, everybody's creating, the development. It's pretty cool. All right. I think that's everything.
Yep.
So thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Thanks for letting me interview you.
Yeah. God bless.